I'm gonna go clean in tonight. So I'm watching Making of a Murderer, right? And I'm trying to get it in my mind. So here's a situation where we actually have okay, let me give you the background. When I say free Avery and Dassey, I'm saying that I have behind the scenes knowledge of how the Wisconsin judicial system, how law enforcement in Wisconsin treats people who are mentally ill. When I was locked up for a crime I didn't commit, I met a European brother, right? His name was Dennis Gross. I'm trying to help Dennis with his case because, I'm sitting on short time. I was a short timer. Fam had a couple years left, so I'm trying to help with his case, and I'm reading into his information. And would you believe that his first public defender was none other than Len Kaczynski, who was also representing Brendan Dassey? Now, I can't make this up. This is well after it. I'm just meeting the guy. This is like 2016, 2017. I'm dealing with Dennis. But I was reading his paperwork, and Dennis got beat up by his girlfriend and got slammed for like 13 years. It was the craziest thing. The chick was talking about, she literally did her little saying thing after they arrested him, went to the hospital, and she went to the bar in her nightgown to go talk about how she got him locked up. Like, this is on record. So these northern law enforcement departments in Wisconsin, I'm telling you, you don't want to mess with them, right? Like, it's the craziest thing. So law enforcement, the scope of law enforcement is to protect the peace and the public, right, as much as possible from crime and criminal activity. But what if the law enforcement are the ones who are committing the crimes? What if law enforcement takes a personal grudge against somebody, not just one officer who pulls you over or something like that every time they see you doing down the road? I'm talking about the whole department. So when I say free Dassey and free Avery, I'm talking about almost all of Wisconsin law enforcement had to play a part in locking them brothers up. And I had seen the story before, but since I went through, I guess I didn't have a clear mind as to what was happening to everybody. I didn't have a clear mind about it. I watched it again, and the law enforcement up there, so the prison system, if you didn't know it, is like owning an apartment complex. If you own an apartment complex, you want what? 100% capacity. You want to make sure that you have occupancy, you want 100% occupancy. You want to make sure every apartment in your, what's going on, man? You want to make sure every apartment in that building is full. Same thing for the prison system. So if Wisconsin's prison system or North Carolina's prison, if the prison system if beds are being too empty, what are they going to do? They're going to call the police and say, you're not sending us enough people. Lock some more people up. Revoke some more people up. I mean, this is how it really goes. This is how it really goes. I'm telling you right now, I'm watching it today. It came back on Netflix, and Making a Murderer really made Netflix what it is today. But I'm telling you right now, I'm watching this is what Netflix did for everybody. Without outright calling the Wisconsin judicial system and the police force of Calumet County, Manitowoc County, these itty bitty counties, right? Without calling them flat out criminals, it showed a pattern of behavior that was more indictable than what the men convicted are of. Let me break it down to you in short. Stephen Avery comes from a family and their family, they're outliers in the community. They're not a part of the community as much, but they've been around for a while and they keep to themselves. Nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing. As soon as one of his family members married into law enforcement, she began to spread these rumors about this guy. So his little criminal mischief stuff he did as a youngster became all of a sudden these real serious crimes, right? So here's what got me. We are so inundated with big government that we have the nerve to believe individuals who are just like you and I, except they have a badge on them where they swear to do what? Uphold the truth and protect the public from criminal activity. What if they choose not to? What if they choose to take personal grudges out on individuals or entire families? So, we're taught to believe a certain kind of thing about a certain kind of people. And the next thing that you know, we're so divided as a community, we can't come together to free these young brothers. And they're not so young no more. Let me tell you how Netflix did it. You have to watch Making a Murderer to get this. This is what sticks out to me only because I have behind the scenes knowledge about the workings of the Wisconsin judicial system. And remember, people, the word justice and judicial are competing words. They're not synonymous. They're not synonymous. Justice and judicial, they're two different, separate, incongruent words, contradictory words. They don't mean the same thing. I'm telling you right now, the Wisconsin judicial system is crooked. You see it. It's crooked all day. I wrote a letter for Dennis. I said, I'm about to get out next week. His court date is on almost the same day. I'm gonna drive up to his court date. I'm gonna sit in the courtroom and I'm gonna make sure this mentally ill man gets a fair hearing, because they hadn't given him one. They had the nerve to take his testimony and convict him first and then put him up for a psych eval. If you sense that he was crazy, why not give him one of those before you put him through the judicial process, which is illegal to do? I got the man into court by simply shaming the people. He's up from around there, like saying, how could y'all, if you read any of his, I've been locked up with the guy for 4 months. If you read any of his information, you can see he's crazy. And y'all convicted him and then gave him a psych eval. Shame. That's all I said was shame. I'm not a legal beagle. I said shame on y'all for doing this man like this. And they gave him a court date. Do you know that by me saying I'm going to go to his hearing because I'm getting out next week, I'm going to go to his hearing. Do you know they pushed my out date back a week? Yes. The Department of Corrections, we made a miscalculation and they held me back a week. The only reason I remember this is because my son's birthday was later week I was getting out. So my baby mama was pissed that I missed his birthday because they made it seem like it was something I did. So she reaching out to my PO, like, when's he getting out? His son's birthday party's coming up. And so they were like, oh, well, he, this and this and that, and he's in isolation right now. Like I did something wrong. They pushed my court date. This is what the system does. Like they will do stuff like that because they figure that you're too small to really come against them. Brendan, the Avery family doesn't have the kind of money it takes to really go after them and get the justice that they deserve for being citizens. Now, you see it says African Messiah versus government scum. I'm against big government and the scumbags that work in there, because not all the people that work in law enforcement are dirty, but there's enough of them. There's enough of them to keep the little man down, the regular folks down, and keep the rich getting richer and being safe and protected. Absolute power. There's nothing wrong with that unless it stomps on your head. That's what I'm saying. So free Avery and Dassey, not because they're innocent, but because, like in the first situation, the person that, in respect to the Hallback family, the person that did that heinous crime, and it might have been the police, they still out there. Now, here's the thing. When you draw it up, Netflix did a really good job of showing you one thing. The police and the sheriffs in that area, in them counties, they knew, they had good reason to believe that the person that committed this assault against this woman was still in the community. And because of some kind of personal vendetta they had against the Avery family, they said, forget about that dude. Let him go hurt somebody else, maybe. We'll catch him down the line, I guess. This is law enforcement's rationale. Netflix did a good job of putting them out there. A known sex offender who they have been watching for days. The deputy sent to watch him get some time off to do something else, and then he offends again. But they lock up Avery instead of this guy. The eyewitness lady can't identify anybody, but she subscribes to this guy. It's crazy. So they knew it was this guy. They had reason to believe. The guy even confessed after he got caught doing something else. After Avery got locked up, he even confessed. And when they called down there and said, we got a guy confessing to the crime, they said, don't worry, we got the right guy. They poo-pooed it away. It's the craziest thing. So the police and sheriffs, okay, so they knew the first time. What did they do? They manufactured evidence. They corroborated the story. So they manufactured evidence and they fed the only eyewitness information. So what they do? They manufactured the sketch for her to look at and helped her with her story. Then they did something else. The police and the sheriff's department up there investigating this thing, they did something else. The last thing that they did was they nullified their alibis. They said, we don't care about that. So what that means is they refuse. So that's misconduct. That's called prosecutorial misconduct, right? To make sure that evidence that's exculpatory don't come in. How you going to tell his whole family? Who else is he going to be with? If this person, that person with his family. But this is what's so cold about the second time. So they did all that. They manufactured evidence. They coached the only eyewitness into basically saying it was him. And then they committed misconduct by not allowing the alibi evidence that he had to come into court. They just told his family, get out of here. It's biased. You're biased because you're his family. Who else am I supposed to be around? It's the country. I live at home with my wife and my kids. I go help my parents out at the salvage yard. Who I'm supposed to be around? And they're law-abiding citizens. None of them have a record. How can they not testify and be seen as credible? They did all of that to make the first charges stick. So when he got cut loose, thanks to DNA evidence after 18 years, let that number stick in y'all mind. 18 years. Oh, man. 18 years straight for something you didn't do. You have to look at that. So Netflix did a beautiful job. Thank you, Netflix. Free Avery and Dassey. I'm on something. I'm going to write them. I'm going to write Avery and Dassey. I'm going to write their attorneys. I'm going to say, man, we're going to get this done for these young men. Because accountability is a must. We can't have a government so big that we trust it so blindly that it can just pluck us off the streets. Now, Taibu Mu'addib, African Messiah, why would you go and help these European brothers? That's how it starts. That's how it starts. I'm not the only person to do this, right? The brother Fred Hampton, he brought together all cultures in Chicago against big government, and he was successful, and they took his life. Now, they still think I'm too small to worry about doing that to me. They don't think I have the reach or the platform because I have an open FBI case against the people that convicted me in my situation. Still ongoing. Against the judge, the prosecutor, my own public defender, who's now a judge, like federal prosecutor, all under investigation. Active right now to this day for wrongfully convicting me. Caught dead wood. I put it in my book. Read the book. Read the series. I put it in my series. I put the evidence against the state of Wisconsin in my books. Read the books. I'm telling you right now, after 18 years of good living, they left that man in there to rot. People cared enough about him to have DNA evidence. So DNA evidence, not only did it exclude him, but it matched the person that they knew probably did it anyway. So now, the second case. All I can say about this is this exclusive. All I can say about the second case is the citizens of Wisconsin, y'all are nuts. Y'all are nuts. How could, and I don't live there no more, so I can say this. How can y'all trust a judicial system that did the same thing to the same man for a worser crime? But this time we don't have a different assailant. So we know the police did it. We know that the police unalive people. It's just they look like us. The fact that this young lady Halbach became a sacrificial lamb to keep families and careers intact, to not break the piggy bank of Manitowoc County with $36 million on the line. It had just come out that they suppressed evidence, exculpatory evidence, well after the fact of the trial to keep that man inside. They were all going down, the whole chain of command. And it just so happened that within that week, the young lady who was already known for going up to his property, because they sold cars. So she just came and took cars and put them in the auto trader. It was a routine thing. They took a routine thing and they took that young lady's life because they knew she was going to be there. Took the young lady's life, pushed them off the property for 8, 9, 10 days or something like that, pushed them off the property, and then began to, it's not even about planting evidence. It's not even about planting evidence, right? They said that the body, this is what gets me. They said the body had been burned when they found it, but the police had evidence that the lady had been shot. How do you know that she had been shot if the body was burnt to a crisp? Right? That was never brought out. I don't know. So they found the truck still there. Now, Steven's saying that she left in the truck. That's what he's saying. So mysteriously, this search team finds the truck on the outskirts of the yard and whatever, whatnot. So that gives them reason to come in. Like this is just the craziest situation. But it makes sense. The police departments had to go through elaborate schemes to convict them the first time. Remember, they had to manufacture evidence the first time. They had to coach witnesses the second time. And then they had to commit to themselves to misconduct. They had to misuse or abuse the exculpatory piece of evidence. So here's the thing. it's remarkable that we as a community haven't just stormed the Bastille. Like, we have to ask them to let the man go for what? He shouldn't be there in the first place, him or his nephew. But let me tell you how cold the law enforcement department is. So the lady's dead. They got Stephen Avery again, so they don't have to pay the man. And I'm telling y'all right now, she went missing days after the last person was about to go down. After the last deposition was taken on the last person in chain of command on how come exculpatory evidence wasn't presented and turned over to the defense, she went missing. Like, you have to look at October, November. It was days. They jumped on it that quick. They formulated the plan that quick. But here's the thing. This is how you know law enforcement is guilty. This is how I know. This is new evidence, people, because like I said, I knew a guy from the same county that who was mentally ill, and they made up some kind of story and locked him up and gave him a lot of time, and they knew, and then gave him a psych eval after they found him guilty. So I know what they do. Y'all don't know, but I know. On the inside, I know. Here's the deal. So they go to the high school. Stephen Avery didn't have a very IQ. His nephew maybe had half that. Just a simple, good family, good people, good folks. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing. It's mind-boggling how we as a community, how come like we plan it like we don't see this? They went to how they set it up. I'm not even going to go to the point where the girlfriend said they came to me first. They went to the girlfriend first. Their case against Stephen Avery was weak because of what they did the first time, how everything had happened the first time. You get the same guy right before he gets paid? Nah, nobody believed them. The police department had no credibility. How they established credibility, they went and took advantage. They went to the high school, pulled out his nephew of school, lied to him. That's how you know. That's how you know that's how I know that these law enforcement officers unalived their young lady. They unalived her. It's bottom line. To the Hallbach family, I'm just keeping it real. And you need to get on our team. The police are the only, they knew before who did it. So if it wasn't them, they know who did it. They knew the time before. So I'm telling you right now. So the police went to the young man, Brendan Dassey. He's 16. He don't know nothing, right? And they showed part of the interrogation. It was tough to watch because he's a kid. He's a kid. And he's, on the Forrest Gump level. And so if the police if they approach this young man with a lie, everything else is a lie. If we know for a fact these detectives told this young man, if they were truly upholding this star, this badge, to protect and serve the public, then they would have kept it real, man. We want to ask some questions, bro. We're going to ask your mom, but we're going to come back and ask some questions. They told the young man, we talked to your mom, and she says, okay, if you talk to us. No, don't talk to my kid. I went through a situation with the Madison Police Department in my home. And they were trying to separate me from my son. He was probably like 5 or 6 at the time. I said, no, I legally have custody of my son. You do not have my permission to take him nowhere, because I don't trust any of y'all. I don't want you in my home. Ask him the questions you're going to ask him. We've done nothing. We're supposed to be here. Y'all not. They're not. So ask them your questions and keep it stepping. I'm supposed to supervise this. They wanted to separate me from my 5-year-old, 6-year-old son to ask him questions about me, to make a statement on me. You know what I'm saying? And the craziest thing was to ask him the question, and he was like, they did X, Y, they did blah, 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 blah. That was it. Like, he couldn't wait to talk and tell on people that, you know, shouldn't have been there. I said, there it is. Now go book them, Dano. And they had to all leave 9 deep in my crib. They had to all get up out of there. The police separate kids from their parents. You know, don't be afraid of their authority. I'm telling you, story after story. I'm gonna bring a guy on Monday and talk about getting told. The police, we as a society, as the citizens, we have to make them know. Doesn't matter what culture, we have to let them know we pay for you guys to be here. We elected them people over you, your supervisors, to keep you guys and gals in line. Do the right thing. Free Avery and Dassey. Do the right thing. I'm telling you right now, it just can't get no deeper. Free them right now. I'm telling you, they went to the school and lied to that. Just the fact that they lied to that young man to start the interrogation, that says all I need to know about the fact that they did it, that this was their whole plan. Locking him up over a more serious crime didn't change the public's opinion about them or him. You're still a bunch of dirty cops that did a terrible job, and y'all knew it, and y'all was covering. It was a cover up. It was a conspiracy to cover it up. This is what they do in Wisconsin. I'm not saying I do nowhere else, but I know for a fact because they did it to me. That's why I wrote the books. I just haven't pushed them because I have a life to live. You know what I'm saying? But I put it out there. I put them out there duly. I did 3 live demonstrations downtown Madison, Wisconsin. I'm telling you right now, this is what they do. But to know that they took that young lady's life, they're in there for life. They took them young men for life. That young man never had a chance. He's 16 years old. He don't know nothing. He just want to go to school. They picked him up and they forced him to make a statement against his uncle that puts him. So Hallbach, she gone. Police took care of that. Avery and Dassey, now they gone. Police took care of that. The only way I would believe that this was organic and those two might be guilty is if somebody like you or I stumbled upon the body. You or I was getting drunk with them and they told on, admitted to it in part. You know what I'm saying? That's the only, for the police to push them off the property for 8 days. 8 days is enough time for them to bring the body on there and burn on the grounds themselves. Then they said, how come the DNA was in the truck? Well, where did he supposed to have did what he did to her? If she was already out the truck, why would we let her get back in the truck to do what he got to do if she's coming to take pictures? You know what I'm saying? That made no sense to me. There was nothing about the whole situation made sense. But any of you tell me right now, could the police make you go stay somewhere else for 8 days and then arrest you for something they found in your house? Would y'all go for that? We're going for it. Them brothers are still locked up. I can't make that. I'm watching it today and I'm thinking to myself, if you look at the second time around, the police and the sheriff did the same thing. They manufactured evidence against them. They coached another witness against them. And then they committed misconduct with the evidence. It was the same MO. It's the same people. You mean to tell me that Cal you met wasn't involved? And then they were like, oh, we heard that even though Cal you met was leading the investigation, it was Manitowoc County sheriffs that found the remains and found this and found that, found the evidence. So Calumet said, yeah, put our face on it, but we're not going to touch the dirty evidence in case there's blowback. Come on, somebody. In case y'all botch it again and it comes back to blowback again, we don't want to touch the dirty evidence. Y'all come and bring it in here. That's real. Freedom, brothers. What's going on with y'all, man? Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. Freedom, brothers, man. Free them. Y'all can jump in here if y'all want to. I want to free these brothers, man. Calumet County sheriffs was comfortable with the whole ruse, right? Brothers of the Blue Shield, whatever. We got y'all back. But in case this don't go right, we're not going to touch the dirty evidence. So let's go ahead and free them. We know that Manitowoc County Police Department, they have something to do with unaliving that young lady and planting the evidence. That's why the Calumet County Police Department and Sheriff's Office didn't touch the stuff. So that they can say what? Plausible deniability. Well, we believed them. They asked to come on the grounds and just assist us because we were short a couple of men, and they said they found it. We believed them. I'm telling you right now, that's how you know they're innocent. Happy Friday, everybody. I was just watching it. I couldn't even get my work done. To those of you that expecting the calls from me today, I'm sorry I didn't reach out to. I just got caught up in it. I made about 15 calls, business calls. I just got caught up in it because it's in my heart like that. It's deep. Them brothers is locked up. They shouldn't have been in there one day. The government's getting too big. We the people have to make a stand. Now, it behooves me to mention that many of you have not donated yet to the Guard Me Gear Tech startup. Now, had Guard Me Gear already been available and on the market, it's two things. The police cannot nix Stephen Avery's alibi from his original case in the bud. They can't. GPS location, can't nix it. Wasn't him, couldn't have been him. And the second case, the same thing. We would have known had the Guard Me Gear been on Teresa Hallbach, which law enforcement officer took her life. Because the device collects evidence. Yep. I'm telling y'all right now, freedom, brothers. My heart goes out to them. Had to do an impromptu show for them. Let me go ahead and share with it. Like I had to go ahead and get that right. Enhance. We got effects. Let's go. Put it up there. Let's go. Free the brother Avery, man. Free the brother. It ain't about signatures and all that. Y'all can sign a petition. I probably go on there and do it myself just to feel like I'm doing something. But we need to come together and put pressure on the Wisconsin judicial system, man, to keep it real with us. They did. The police and the sheriff's department and the district attorney's office, they did the same thing the second time, just in a more serious crime. That means their culpability is more serious, not Stephen Avery's. Look at what they went through the first time to hide and keep this man in prison. So are we surprised that they went a little bit further? No. They knew that women were going to be at risk of being harmed by not getting the real suspect. No. I mean, it's tough. Taibu Mu'addib, man, certified gold achievement coach. Donate to the Guard Me Gear Tech wearable. Let's go. Guard Me Gear. The fundraiser is real. We're going to do what we can, Mr. Avery, Brother Dassey, to get y'all out. And it's going to start with getting this device on people so that people are not wrongfully convicted and accused and convicted of things that they didn't do, serious crimes. We can change the way that we socialize with each other by simply donating today. Donate now. All right. I'm going to go ahead, put this on here, get this right. Bam. So I'm going to get y'all to donate much as possible. All right. Copy that link. There it is. So donate now. There goes the link, man, to donate for the Guard Me gear. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in here. A sound strategy for dealing with sexual and domestic violence is to donate to the Guard Me gear security tech wearable. I'm not saying that because it's my invention. I'm saying that because people need help right now, and there's nothing on the market doing it right now. As usual, this podcast is being brought to you courtesy of First Step Coaching. If you didn't know, a sign of strength is really admitting that you need help and seeking assistance. So show how strong you are by reaching out to me, inbox me, DM me, let me know. Put your hand up in the comment section. I'll be to holler at you. All right. Let's get that going. I don't know over here. Get you guys that link too. But that's how it starts. You know, you want to make sure that you donate and you share the link with somebody else. That's how we get there. I'm going to shut down. I got things to do. Thank y'all for joining me. Want to come crispy with y'all one time. I appreciate everybody. Taibu Mu'addib. Catch me in the mornings, the weekday mornings with Mu'addib. I'm going to reach out to some of y'all and let y'all know what the deal is. I appreciate y'all. That's the show.